Hello, welcome to Real Magic Review. My name is Steve Faulkner, and it's very good to have you here on the Comments on Comments show, where I basically just look at your comments and answer them, because it gives me some content, doesn't it? Give me some things to talk about, which is lovely, which is what I like doing, because I talk to very few people in my day-to-day life at the moment. And my voice therapist, because I've got this voice thing that's going on that I get really sore throats. So it's reflux, but it's also the fact that I'm not using it enough. So maybe I should go live like every day, all day, every day. We'll just all hang out and have a nice time. I do hope you're all well, and I mean that. The world is a very funny place. It's all dragging a bit, isn't it? But we're getting there. And I know some of you have been out performing. I've seen on Facebook again, which is great. And it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm really, really looking forward to trying some of this stuff out. So today we're going to briefly talk, well, I say briefly, I can't briefly talk about anything, can I? Excuse me, I just had some water and it kind of went down the wrong way about 3 seconds before I went live there. So yeah, we're going to talk about, I reviewed a lot because I've got a lot to review at the moment, and I've got a rule that I don't rush it. I sit with the content and make sure I know what I'm doing with it. So so that's why I'm putting stuff out every day. It won't be forever, I don't think. That'd probably get quite annoying, wouldn't it? Or is it good? I don't know. Before we go on, can you please like, subscribe? Really important. Check out cardmagiccourse.com. That's my online card magic course. Oh, I do a thing. There's my online card magic course. There it is. Hey, look at that. All them courses you get for one payment, and the live sessions and stuff added every month. There's me doing clever things, which is the point that you will be doing them too. And go to, for a free spread cull download, I've created a free course. So basically, if you're going to get a few emails off me with some very helpful stuff, you're going to get something for it. So I'm trying to put out stuff of value to people, not just spammy nonsense like some people do. So check out cardmagiccourse.com/cull. There's a /cull, and you'll get a lovely course, quite in depth. It's not, you'll be surprised. It's a good one on the spread cull, which is of course the best move in card magic, bar none. There you go. Yeah, people say you should have one force, one control, and one switch or whatever. I think give the spread cull. There you go. You can make a career out of that. Thank me later. So, right, let's have a look. Hey, Manish. Hope all is good in India, mate. Alan, how you doing, mate? Dane, Julian, lovely to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Happy to watch as many review videos as you can make. Good. I was upset because I'll just tell you, I've had a very bad day. And then a very good one. So first thing that happened yesterday is I recorded a review of TimeSmith with the spotted dice. I lost that and deleted that. But worse than that, I deleted yesterday every single video on my phone, completely off the cloud and everything. It was all in recently deleted. That's every video of my kids for like the last 6 years went, and with and I was up till like 1 o'clock trying to sort it out, couldn't do it, and then I was up at 6 this morning doing it. I've been a zombie all day. Went down to a shop down the road and they tried to sort it and finally phoned Apple. I think they're not going to be able to find it, it's not even on the cloud. And after half an hour they say, look in your recently deleted, they all popped up again, and I went from being really sad to really happy. And I don't think there's a better feeling than that. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you've just lost something that means so much to you. I mean, these videos of my kids, I couldn't stop thinking about them all night, that I'm never going to see this video again, these nativity plays and all that. And then it was all there, and it was just like a gift. And isn't it amazing when we lose something that we almost take for granted and then get it back? It's so special. So it's, I'm in a tremendous mood. So yes, so it's good to be here. It was going to be a very miserable show up until about 2 hours ago. So I'll crack on with these comments. There's a few to get around. So we're going to concentrate on TimeSmith Ghost, which I did yesterday. Really interesting. And Mark Kirsten's Amalgam. First of all, TimeSmith. Do you want to see the watch? Let me know if you want to see the watch. I've got it here. I can show you the watch. I'm not going to show you the app or anything like that, but I will show you the watch if you want to see it. It's going to be quite nice, won't it? So on TimeSmith, Magic Corner, Benka, as he says, is a really, as he pronounced it, is a really nice, and it's really nice. God, I'd learn to read in a minute, be good, wouldn't it? With any questions or issues you may have, I met him 6 years ago and helped beta test some of his earlier apps, or beta for some of you. Great guy, excellent review, Steve. Thanks. Matt, yeah, and that's the really important thing, isn't it? It's this aftercare thing. It's this kind of apps are being developed as we have them. It's a really new thing, isn't it? Usually we buy something and it's there, and but that we get them and they're being developed at the time of release, and that's really cool. So you get new things all the time, but you do need someone there. It's not a complex thing to use this, but just to ask questions, answer questions, and those Facebook groups are just so useful. From other people chipping in, and what I forgot to mention, of course, in the review, is the whole deal with an earpiece. That's you start kind of getting into that, and like with CubeSmith as well and TimeSmith. Once you start, I've ordered one now finally, because I'm writing my show at the moment, and I want to use it now. I don't know if it's going to be in there. It's just an excuse to buy myself a lovely present, to be honest. But there you go, that's arriving soon. TimeSmith is awesome. No, nice one, Miss Timon. Tom, I always worry that if the only explanation points straight at Wi-Fi stroke Bluetooth, I presume, but Dyson watched, that might just short circuit the monkey mind. Very tempting. Yeah, so I think what you're saying there, Tom, is that will people just go, is it Bluetooth? And I think you're right. If we're not careful, it will do. And I think that with these things now that are so very strong, and the Labco stuff and all the things that you kind of like, you write something down and as you're writing it, I can tell you what it is. I think we've got to surround that with stuff that makes it almost a little bit more flawed, maybe. Because it's not doing something, well, for me, someone doing something that I don't know how it's done isn't entertainment for me. It is for some people I know, and non-magicians do, but for me, I need something around it. I need humour around it. I need meaning around it. I need story. I need just someone to be really lovely, like Darren Brown I always talk about. Yes, he has brilliant scripts and stuff, but it's just him, and it doesn't feel like he has to be hilarious, even though he is quite funny. It's just kind of, I need some meat on those bones of the trick. The trick isn't enough. And the worry with this stuff is it's so good that we are tempted, as I said in the review, I think, to go, right, name of time, there you go, it's on the watch, which I have done with my family. Because if I start going into some sort of presentation with my family, they just look at me and go, oh, Dad, what are you talking like that for? What are you telling me this tedious story for? Hope the creators support the watching app. Unfortunately, Telewatch seems to have been abandoned. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, mine still works okay. But, it's a bit different for me, isn't it? I don't have to invest what some people have when I look at these things. So, such a great review. Just lovely things people are saying. Oh, okay, this is an unrelated thing, but I'm happy to answer it. And if you've got questions on these that aren't related to the product, feel free to ask them. I can choose not to say them, if it's secrecy and things like that. But could you, by any chance, help me with a thumb tip? I'm going to say it because we're into the video now. I have the Alan Wong HD one, but it's a bit tight and can't load a silk. I want to buy a Vernet, but don't know which size to get and which to pick between. I know. It's sort of this whole thing of buying online, isn't it? What I would say with that is that if you're buying a TT, I feel like I should say now, even though I've just not said it, you want a loose fitting one. Okay, first of all, I think what some people do, and I'm not saying I don't know where you are on this, but I think, when people buy them, they get one that fits. You want it really, really loose, but obviously not that it's going to fall off, like mine did once when I did a bill switch. It was 2 Christmases ago. I was like, did the bill switch, went, and it just went into the middle of the table, and the whole thing came out, and it's like, what can you say? The old appearing thumb trick. But yeah, I mean, I always just go for a Vernet and try and get a deal where you can send it back, I suppose. It's very, very difficult. And I don't know about the Violin Classic. I don't know if one of them, maybe someone can answer here. For me, it used to be if I could put a cigarette in it, because I used to do that in my street show. That's how long ago it was. So that was, and then I mean, I've said before, at the end of the night, after you've had a few drinks and you've run out of cigarettes, you get the one out the thumb tip. And I have done that, which is very, very, very nice. But no, horrible. This is a long time ago when it was, I was going to say when it was cool, but it wasn't. It was always an awful thing. Julien, it would be tempting to save some money by purchasing just the app and one of the cheaper compatible watches. However, you comment about the firmware updates for the SB watch probably makes that a better long-term investment. Most of the alternative watches look like hybrid watches. Yeah, it's a style thing, I think, as well. Skagen keep releasing versions and more features. I don't know about the Skagen, if that's how you pronounce it. But I would say with this, and again, there's no affiliation here. If I was going to buy one, didn't have one, I'd probably go for this if I was going to get TimeSmith, just because they're being developed in tandem. That's why. But it's a style thing, and I'm sure. And again, the people, Benka and everybody will answer questions around that, definitely. Out of my price range, Stephen Buffett. Yeah, totally, and mine. You probably, you know what I mean. If it wasn't for the fact I was reviewing it. These are investments, these things, and you've got to really think, are you going to use it? And I'm not saying professionally, it doesn't have to be professionally. It's kind of easier when it's professional sometimes, because you can justify it by saying, oh, well, 1 gig will pay for it. But I've spent, I know people that spend a lot on their hobbies. Yeah. Talk to cyclists and car people. They're fascinating, aren't they? So that's that. Any questions? Let me come back to questions. So many windows here. Back it up, yeah. I know. Now my photos are backed up on Dropbox.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
What I said, Mr. Watch, is my... Oh, I was going to show you the watch in a minute, wasn't I? Yeah, they're backed up on Dropbox, iCloud, of course, and I'm going to back them up on a hard drive as well, and they're just going to be backed up in about 300 places. I realised what they mean to me when I lost them. Where is Ghost available? Alakazam, Jake. You can get Ghost and Alakazam. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, that's where. So they've got exclusive on it, I think. So it's produced by the Alchemy Tree, but Alakazam is selling it. He's very responsive. Say, hey, Magic Corner, cool, nice to see you. Started reading the Magic book by Harry Lorraine. Yeah, I've got. This one, those books. It's like films. I'm a big film buff, and there's certain films I still haven't seen. And the Magic, I've looked through it, and I've kind of checked some stuff out. But you mentioned the Magic book, and I keep wanting to go back to it. But I'm doing a review every day, and now I've actually got some paid work coming up, so that's going to put a spanner in the works. But I'm really good, Adrian. Thank you. The SP Watch is fantastic. The app's so well thought out and designed. In my opinion, the best solution for a Magic Watch. Let's have a look at it while we're here, shall we? Let's open one of 20 windows in front of me to check that. Right. So here it is. That's kind of what it looks like close up. And I haven't got it set up, but this is going to say different time, but I use this with the TimeSmith whip. The TimeSmith is amazing. Let me just see if I can... Sorry. I'm not looking at my phone, by the way, to make a phone call and stuff and check my messages. I don't know what I've got it set up as. Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's disconnected. It hasn't connected properly. Yeah, I think so. It's connected with that because I've just turned it on. But it goes basically when you there you go. So when you first turn it on, we're okay doing this, aren't we? Because we're like 20 minutes in or something, 13 minutes in. There's nobody. There's a bit of a lag, and then from now on. Oh, and if I put it on Do Not Disturb, there's no lag as well. It's because it's on. I've just turned it off airplane mode and stuff like that. But that's what it looks like. That comes up straight away. That does that straight away. And just so you get a close up, that's kind of what we're looking at. So really lovely. No complaints there, in case you want to know. And TimeSmith is amazing. Clearly, it's so quick. It just comes up straight away. It connects straight away. And it's all just really nicely done. And TimeSmith's great because this, I've realised that, well, of course we're in this situation, we can be in this situation, you turn your back and everybody does the thing, and especially in a hoodie, you can just get out a hoodie, but it fits in your sort of trouser pocket, so you can kind of, sorry, you're going to look at all my dodge. So you can kind of go here, and I'm not going to advertise, I'm looking at this on the video, by the way, so now I can see it perfectly. Okay, so it's just, it's a joy. Probably not, I mean, that with TimeSmith is sort of reassurance that but I mean with the other things like with CubeSmith and everything like that, obviously it integrates more. I'm sure it does with TimeSmith as well with more stuff. But yeah, so let's go back to the comments. How do you decide the cost of a show when you market it to clients? You can ignore the question if it feels odd. No, I'm happy to answer anything. That's what this is for. And it's a really interesting one because people don't want to talk about money, do they? They get really edgy about it. First of all, you choose your demographic. I'd say when I was starting out, the biggest mistake I made was I charged before I was ready to charge what I did. I didn't go silly, but I should have just gone out and actually I went back a step and I got a residency. And the residency was the best thing I ever did. So a residency, if you don't know, is just doing a weekly gig at a restaurant or something, not charging them as much money, but it's weekly and you pick up work there. So again, you choose your demographic. For me, when I decided to go proper pro, I was having kids and stuff like that, so I didn't want to be out doing loads and loads of shows. So I put my prices up and then worked hard enough to make that people justify the prices. So at the beginning, I kind of came unstuck a little bit, but then went back, worked on it and came back. But I would say, you know, if you're going straight for a corporate market and you feel that you've got trust in your own material, and we all have a bit of imposter syndrome sometimes, but, you know, listen to feedback. I would go higher end, and if you just want to do the shows, you know, I was talking to someone the other day that's doing virtual shows at really low prices because they just want to do them. And people did them, and people that usually charge a lot of money did them for free as well at the beginning. So you do whatever you need to do, but then when you've got confidence, and the confidence, ask for client feedback and ask them for negative feedback. Don't put it in those words. Ask them for feedback, but say, you know, I really do want you to, if there's anything that you think could have been better, then that's a good way of wording it. Let me know, because I'm always working on my work. You know, I'm always working on it, and I love feedback, and people like it. They respect it, and they know that you care, right? So if you get not really good feedback, you know, it's hard. I don't say price because there's so many variables, but low cost if you just want the experience, and you've got to make enough money. You've got to be able to make a living if that's what you're choosing to do as well. And of course, it's an issue if you're undercutting people, I suppose, if you're doing a similar thing. You don't want to devalue it. Loads of really interesting stuff about marketing you can read about, kind of perceived value and things like that. But you've got to be able to back it up. That's the thing. Sorry, going on a rant now. You know, so many people, like I did at the beginning, can't back up the prices, and then you want to leave a good taste in people's mouths. So sort of gauge it and be happy to make mistakes as well. If you mistake like I did and charge too much, just put it down to experience. And if you're not getting any work, you're probably charging too much. So I hope that helps, Manish. Electronic wizardry enters more into magic. The skills required, particularly of the mentalist, diminish. I would disagree, Gary. I think the skills of the mentalist are mostly cerebral anyway. Meaning, yes, of course, the memory work and things like that, that's very cerebral, but just how you think about your presentation and making it a piece of entertainment, I think is the hardest work for the mentalist, with not making it really boring. So I think sometimes it's harder because you've got to think more about scripting and presentation. I'm finding it really tough to come up with for my show. I want to do this trick because I love it. But it might end up going in if I can't find a way of doing it that suits the theme of my show. So it's kind of, whereas some tricks just fit it straight away. You know, just by cups and balls, I can bang into anything because it's got the scripting with it. I've been doing it for years as well. So yeah, I kind of know what you mean, but I think we have to work harder than we think we do. What's the best way to get wrinkles out of a 38-inch silk? No idea, Jake. You should see mine. I'm rubbish at looking after my props like that. Hey, you got the Vernet. Great. Cool. Give it to your girlfriend. Oh, yeah. That's not very gender specific, isn't it? Also, the integration of TimeSmith with other apps make it great too, and a great value overall. Yeah. Jake said, with my shows, I never ask for money like they offer it, and I decline. At the last show I did, the church donated $217 towards my show. I refused it 3 times. Really? Wow. Okay. Well, I suppose if you're doing it for church, you're doing it for charitable organisations and donations and things like that, it's a whole different world as well. Magic interviews. How you doing? Nice to see you. Parlour or stage magic? Both. They're lovely. Parlour, I love Parlour. It's just great. It's so informal and lovely. Probably prefer stage magic, but get less nervous with parlour magic now. Cups and balls recommend for street performing. Not looking to break the bank. I don't know, because I've always used. I'll show you. God, I better get on with it, haven't I? These are mine. These are made by. I've got about 5 sets made by Gary Animal, who doesn't make them anymore. But he's the guy that used to make them for Gazzo. And these are my cups. I can't even remember what they're called. What they're made of. It's not nickel, is it? What is it? But they're really lovely. They do shine up if you want them to as well. So these fit a these fit a decent sized orange, not a massive one, or a baseball and things like that. But they're just, and they're nice and streety, you know, they're big. So on stage, they're really good. And I've got a really nice, you know, they look the part, and they're nice to, they're just lovely. So, but they're Gary Animal. He doesn't make them, but I'd go for something. If you work in the street, what you want something that's hardy. So if they drop on the cobbles, if they drop on the street, they've got to be able to handle it. So don't, you know, always find out what they're made of. You know, are they thick brass, and they're going to handle a bit of dropping about. If you work them on the street, they're going to get dropped. If you're anything like me. Right, pewter. No, it's not pewter. What is it? I'll have to let you know. Not nickel. Is it nickel? No. Oh, no, I'm not very good with metals. Yes, cool. Oh, there's some lovely comments there. Right, I better get on with it, ain't I? Blimey, well done everybody for listening to my waffle. Where's me pages? Right, so now we are we do Amalgam. There's not loads of comments on this, and then Ghost. Gideon, I know Gid, that's why I say Gid. I like the fact that you can customise the pictures on Amalgam. Really important, this. And what's more important is that it's easy to customise. Some things are very complicated to customise, aren't they? Apps, I know a couple, I won't mention them, but blimey. You know, you've really got to spend some time with them, which is totally fine. But with marks, it just is so intuitive. You just go in, it's very simple. Stick your own photos in, so really good. And he's very good at that. And he's kind of, Mark is someone that makes up for people like me that get a bit stuck. Matthew, I've been thinking about purchasing at least one of the seasons, but I always held back because I didn't really know for sure if any of these fit my character or set. The video convinced me completely. Yeah, I hope you like it, Matthew. I think that there's a real, like I said in the review, they're fun. They feel fun, but also very magical, but quick to do, you know. It's, you know, and I know it's an investment if you're getting both seasons, and it's easy for me to say because I sort of get them to review. But I think that, yeah, and that's why I kind of wanted to go through them one at a time so you could actually choose what one you think works for you. 1 point for inertia. Inertia is one where you get someone to scroll on Instagram or Netflix or something like that. They scroll once and whatever it lands on, that's basically a force. You can hide the address bar if you're using Instagram or something that makes it sense to be an app. So that's interesting, really important. So I mentioned the fact that it basically goes onto the next Netflix website on your phone rather than the app. But what I didn't realise is you can hide the web thing so it looks like you're on the app, which is important. So thanks for that, Carl. Looks like interesting app, Steve. I've had Wikitest and Inject for a while. Haven't used them in a while, but I love them both. I really want to get Inject, but I've got so many apps now. But everybody says it's great. I also signed up for Card Magic course last night. Yay, David. Hope you like it. We got a live session in 35 minutes. Yet again, Jackson's Magic's not happy. Yet again, another app not available on Android. Yet more people have Android. More people, more sales. Wise up, Magic developers. I know, and I really understand that frustration. I think I suppose if you're trained and focusing on being an iPhone developer and you end up doing this, it's probably a choice you have to make where if money's the drive with it, I suppose you can do it, but it might, if you're doing all right anyway, it might not. You've got to weigh up whether it's worth the work to learn a new skill, I suppose. And I'm not saying Mark can't do it. I'm sure he can, but he might have other things going on. So I suppose it's weighing up. Is it how much time you've got to develop these things? And yeah, it must be very, very frustrating. So I do understand your frustration there. Let's just see if we got any. No, I have not found TimeSmith available in any US store. It's only available from there. No, so TimeSmith, if you go on the video, I think it's available through, what's it called? Test Flight, which I don't really understand. It's a sort of beta testing app. But basically, if you go on the links I've got below the TimeSmith review, you should be able to get it wherever you are. It's not on the App Store, but it's kind of through Test Flight and you buy it there. So, but it talks you through all that there anyway. So you'll be able to have a look there. Remember to like the video, guys. Good call, Manish. Yes, please do like. And please do check out cardmagiccourse.com/cull for your free spread cull course. There you go. Have you performed any of the Amalgam apps? If so, which ones and how did you get on with them? So the ones I performed, and if you call perform, showing them to family and a couple of friends, the watch one, quite badly. I haven't got it very, very quick. The amped I love because it takes no skill and it's just really cool to see that battery level go down. Basically, if you don't know, you show someone your phone and you say, look, I'm going to charge the battery by just looking at it, and you go like that and the battery level goes from about whatever 35 and it goes 36, 37, 38, 39 and it goes up really quickly. I think that's really cool. I think something else you can do straight away with no effort is the one we were talking about in a minute, inertia. That you get straight away, and it's a genuine Instagram. So you just look at Instagram, you think, right, I'm going to force that one, and go right and give them the phone, and they do it. That's one I've done and really, really like. And the one I always get mixed up, time out. Is that what it's called? Oh man, I don't want to turn on Bluetooth. Called. This is fun, isn't it? This is what timed out. It was called timed out. So there you go. So they're the three that I've been doing most. What tricks did you do when busking? My show for years was free ball juggling routine, which I still do, and I'm doing in my show because I love it. It's quite funny, if I do say so myself. And then I started off with the cigarette vanish in someone's jacket on the street as an audience build, and then did the free ball routine, and then did a straight jacket and chain routine, which went on for about 20 minutes because I just faffed around for ages. Me? Faff around? God, blimey. It's like a ramble. It's like just rambling on the street. And then I did putting the cups and balls as an opener after the cigarette for a long time. And that was actually, is weird because the cups and balls were so strong, but I didn't like finishing on the street with a magic trick because I found that when you did the escape, you'd be in the straight jacket and the chains, and then you did your money lines and then the escape, and it left people cheering. Magic left people going, how the hell did you do that? It's not a natural cheer and a yay with magic, so I found it's too strong to finish the show with. God, this is only me. Watch Gazzo work, Jim Cellini, they're all right with it. But just personally, I found it harder to sell, to get those people walking forward at the end and paying, which I wanted them cheering. It's kind of like, which is why I don't finish when I'm working tables. I don't finish with a centre tail like I used to. Mentalism, because it was so strong, and I wanted people clapping and not going like that at the end. So I wanted that kind of that lift at the end. But that's only my opinion. That's not advice. But yeah, that was my show for pretty much 15 years. So comments on Ghost. So Ghost is the coin vanish download, which is great. Colin Klaus, Alakazam available. As a member, there you go. This is genuine. As a member of the card magic course, I cannot recommend it highly enough. This is from Alan. In last week's live session, I showed an effect I'd worked on for a few weeks and wasn't happy with it. I got 20 minutes of feedback, which gave me completely different direction to take the presentation in. That alone is worth a tenner of anyone's money. It is. We do feedback sessions. So the live sessions, you work in progress. It doesn't have to be polished, and you did it very well. But if you want, you can come and tell me just working on. No judgment at all. There's no kind of like, I've got to do it well. It was my dream in live, not on Zoom once, to create a kind of almost like a tryout night for magicians where you could just try stuff, be totally safe. But the problem is you've got lay people, it's difficult. So we have feedback sessions that are like that. So you try it out, we all watch, and then you get feedback, like I said, for 20 minutes, which you can go off, and it's just so powerful. Friendly, supportive environment to try new stuff out without fear of feeling foolish. Absolutely. On top of that, sorry, I'm going to read it all. I need the money. On top of that, over hours of video instruction and having Steve in your contact list to pester for help and advice. Yay! But, and there's a question that's not about the Card Magic course. On a different subject, would a relative coin beginner benefit from this download? I keep meaning to start doing stuff with coins, and the vanish looks like real magic. If you're a beginner, I would, even though I love this, I'd start off with something like Eric Jones's Metal, just because and actually on this, on the deluxe version, he has got a French drop tutorial and a Downs palm tutorial, so you'll get something out of it. But going straight into this vanish, actually, you'd be able to do it, but again, it's not really a beginner's vanish. So I would go with something like Eric Jones's Metal, and if you go in Books Bobo and things like that. But I think that I would get something that teaches me loads of those you know, or a Roth book or something like that just goes through those vanishes, you know, shows me how to do a decent French drop. So that's what I would start with. A brilliant review. Thanks, Rick Holcomb. Rick's great. Check out Rick Holcomb's YouTube channel if you're into coin magic. Rick is stunning. Reviewed his Sly Palm download, which is great. Thanks, Robert. I've been into coin magic from Snoop. Anoopitz, but I know that Snoop goes from Snoop. I'm not constantly mispronouncing his name. I've been into coin magic for last year and have been really enjoying it. I had a chance to see another by Rick Holcomb, an interview with Colin. He did interview Colin on his channel, absolutely. Ghost is exciting and heard good reviews. Can't wait to get it downloaded. And the free fly, I can never say it. 3 fly routine is simply amazing. Saw it in the trailer. Yes, that free fly is really strong. It's great, and it does get rid of, like he said, he wanted to get rid of some of those things in free fly. You know, like the bit where you go and look, it goes. You know, if you know it. If you don't know what I'm talking about. But there's a couple of weak points in it, and it doesn't ruin it. But it's nice where these people come and kind of, you know, work out these sort of iron out the kinks, which is kind of what the joy of it, isn't it? You know, we take something that's already good and go, okay, how can we change it? And it is really lovely and very, very well taught. So it was a pleasure to watch that. So there's the comments on that. Let's get rid of that window because my head's getting confused. What time is it? Oh, that's all right. There you go. Right, this is why this is good, isn't it? Dane Smith, Real Me from Jeff Copeland is a masterclass on the French drop. Yeah. I had another Jeff Copeland set, and he goes into... Yeah, or is it that? No, I think that's the one I've got, actually. Yeah, that Jeff Copeland stuff. God, I'm so glad you've a total mental block. Yeah, if you want to learn the basics as well, check out Jeff's stuff, because again, it's a masterclass. It is that one I've got, I think, where he goes into loads of different versions of that one vanish. And again, you know, I think you don't need loads of different. I think for a coin, you know, to do a coin routine, I've probably got the right angles here. To do a coin routine, I think you know, that's a French drop, really. You need a French drop, I think a retention pass. You don't need a silly hand, that's just a habit thing I'm working on. And that, with those two things, you know, that JW grip if you're doing online stuff, because it just gives you the perfect angle. But, you know, you don't have to do like really difficult stuff. That's 4 vanishes that you can make a career out of. You know, I don't mean make a, but you know, so many routines you can do with vanishes, like 4 decent vanishes. So I'd say again, yeah, check out the Jeff Copeland stuff. But you know, it's very daunting, coin magic, for some people, because they see all the books. You know, so much in it, and they think they've got to learn all the routines. And actually, most of the stuff I do with coins is 1 coin, and I do a 3 coins across. That's pretty much it. And the rest of it is just me geeking out as a hobbyist. So, saying that, looking at Danny's stuff, I'll be working on Danny Goldsmith stuff. I'll be working on some more there. So, right. No worries, Alan, and thank you for your lovely comment. Was there another comment that I saw that wasn't to do with those? All right. No, I'm sure there was a comment that I wanted to see that wasn't to do with any of them. That was a decent question. Let me just open my notifications. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves, everybody. Alan says, remember card magic. Tom, audience one, sometimes it's just fun if you're it. Yeah, totally. That's what I mean. I talked about that with Dark Side of the Cube, which I haven't mentioned actually, because there wasn't many comments on it. It's been out quite a while. But Dark Side of the Cube, yeah, I just really enjoyed learning it and doing it. And I think it is very strong as well, but sometimes it's just... Connected Live I haven't mentioned as well. So if you've got any questions about that, the Vanishing Ink thing, that was really good. I thought it was great, that. I've reviewed it, so I won't go into it, but if you've got any questions on that. Colin says, I was on family duty all weekend, but maybe I'll plunk down for the replay and not even a professional. Again, if you're doing stuff for friends on Zoom, which I really enjoy doing actually, it's a lovely thing to jump on Zoom and you know, show someone some cool stuff, because a lot of people have never seen this stuff, and it really surprises them when you can actually do this kind of, you know, stuff on Zoom. Yeah, no, I can't think of what the comment was. Oh yeah. Oh, no, David M. Yeah, you put a comment on comment 7, which I tried to click on but disappeared for some reason about practice. But I like this from MexiMex. As well as being a magician, I'm also a musician. And this is a guitar story rather than a magic one. But it still applies here. You may have never heard of him, but Robert Fripp is a legendary guitarist. I certainly have heard of Robert Fripp. And one of my favourite quotes from him when asked about practicing is, if you get up in the morning and feel like practicing, practice for 6 hours. If you get up and don't feel like practicing, practice for 8. And I'm absolutely right. Practice is hard sometimes. It's really hard when you don't feel like it. So I think it's that lovely thing, you know. So it's like that thing, you know, how when you know, if you practice and you've really had enough, just get to the point where you just can't practice anymore. Just keep practicing. That's that thing of, you know, that's what people do. That's the commitment we have. It's not always fun, practice, and that's what gets us past that bit of just being, you know, mediocre. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But if you want to get to another level, you really have got to go through those periods of it not being fun, and it really isn't sometimes. Is the PeakSmith device only available from TimeSmith or from certain dealers? No. So the PeakSmith is made by Andras, and that is on. If you look at the TimeSmith, you can buy it separately, and it works with other things. So if you look at the TimeSmith, again, the links below, that will take you through to the TimeSmith website, and that will tell you all about PeakSmith and stuff. But if I remember, I've got to go straight after this and go to do the card magic call thing. But if you remember, or someone message me or whatever, I'll try and remember to put the. But I think I have got the link, and I'm going to do a separate review on PeakSmith as well. But you'll be able to get it through those links. Right. So that's me. Thanks everyone. Thanks for coming. Remember, every Monday, unless things go wrong, at 5 o'clock, where I'll just be talking about what I've been doing at the weekend, or kind of looking at what I've been watching or playing with. And then this time, 5 o'clock UK, every Thursday for these sessions. And listen, thank you so much for coming. You've been lovely. I've been talking. Please like and subscribe. Check out Card Magic Course. And as soon as you've done this, go to cardmagiccourse.com/cull to get your free spread cull course. And that'd be lovely. All right then. I hope this is the right button. Take care. See you later. Thanks everyone. Bye.